Hello everyone, my name is Sarah Boyle. I'm a Technology Integration Specialist here for the Milford Public Schools, and today we're going to be talking about administering the iReady diagnostic test and what that looks like both from the student perspective and the teacher side. So the first thing you're going to want to do is log into iReady. We do have iReady connected through Clever, and that is the only way that teachers and students should be accessing iReady. For students, it's simply a matter of logging into their Chromebook with their Google account. When they log in, they should be directed to this homepage. If they're not on their school's based homepage, they can simply click the home button on their web browser and it will bring them to the page appropriate for their school. And then they can click the Clever button, which is located here. Once students have clicked the Clever button, it should automatically log them into their Clever account. And from there, in their Clever account, they should locate the iReady button. It looks like a multicolored cube. And when they click that, it will automatically bring them over to their iReady account. For teachers, in order to get to Clever, they're going to type in the shortcut bit.ly/uppercase MPS and lowercase Clever. This is a shortcut that we created to make it super easy to get to Clever for teachers, and you can bookmark that on your Google Chrome browser. Once you're there, hit the Sign In with Google button, log in with your credentials, and again, you'll also be directed to your Clever account, and you will also see this iReady multicolored button. For teachers, when you're administering the diagnostic exam, once you've clicked iReady, you'll be taken to your iReady dashboard, and it will look something like this. This is a demo account from the company, so there's a lot of data in here and a lot of things that you might not see. For example, we don't necessarily have the instruction paths. We're not using the instruction piece this year. But you will see the diagnostic status, and you should see the diagnostic results buttons, which are up here on the top. So if I click on diagnostic status, this is going to bring me to a short picture of how many students have not started the exam, how many are in progress, and how many have completed. Again, this is a demo account, so the numbers might be a little off. And when I click Monitor Student Status, it brings me to a list of all of my students. This is a list of 189 students. I don't really want to look at that many students, so let's narrow it down to grade 1 or 2. Trying to find someone in progress. Just a single grade level. Let's try this. All right, this student is in grade 4, so let's look at those. Here we go. So he has completed the exam. So I'll see a list of my students. I'll see how much of the test they have completed. This will be a progress bar. So if I sort by status, I'll see that this particular student, Michael, has finished the exam. He has a full green bar. If he were still working, this bar would only be partially filled and showing me a percentage of where he's at. Since he's completed the exam, it does show me his grade level placement over here on the side. And if he had hurried through the exam, it would give me an alert over here. There's a yellow flag for moving a little quickly, and then there's a red flag for moving very quickly. If I catch these flags or if I see Michael moving too quickly, when I click on his name, up here near the top where it says diagnostic and the number of the exam, there will be a reset the test button. And I could have Michael stop working on his test, go take a little break, reset his test, but that means that it erases all of the data that is collected so far, and it will make him restart from the beginning. So this could be more frustrating for some students than just letting them finish and having them come back and take the exam again on another day. As you can see, Michael is the only one who is either not started, in progress, or completed. He's the only one who's been assigned an assessment to do right now, so his data is the only one that we are looking at. It has placed him at a 4th grade level, whereas he is a 5th grade student. So his circle is yellow, meaning green for on or above grade level, yellow for 1 grade below, red would mean 2 or more grade levels below. So since his dot is yellow, I know he's a little behind. And when I click into his name, again, into his specific data, I can see why. I see the different domain levels over here. I can see what he did well in, what he needs more support in. And these blue arrows for can-dos and next steps will show me what I can do to support him, to help him grow in these areas where he needs to progress a little quickly. This bar over here shows me where Michael's score is currently. It shows me where his typical growth would be. So the next time he takes the diagnostic, I would expect him typically with normal growth to be at a 579. If I wanted him to stretch a little bit, I would want him to be at 593. And again, these little colors and connotations are all marked here on the top. So the mid on grade level is 609. So even if Michael stretched, he would still be a little bit behind mid grade level. You can scroll down, see specific levels and specific scores. If I want to see how to support him in some of these areas where he needs a little bit more help, for example, comprehension, I click on the domain. It gives me what Michael is able to do, and then it gives me some resources for what I can do to help him grow, help him reach his potential. I click on the plus sign, and it gives me some ideas, some teaching elements, some tools that I can use, and if I'm using any of the iReady instructional pieces, it links to those as well. If you notice that a student has finished the test, let's say Michael here has finished the test and he went super fast. I know he's not a 4th grade student. He's actually above grade level and everything. And he has finished the test. Once they finish, I cannot reset the test, but I can assign him another test to complete. And how I do that is I go to Assess and Teach. I go to Assessment. I pick the diagnostic, whether it's reading or math. And once I'm here and I see the diagnostic windows, I go to Actions over on the side and I pick the diagnostic. So I'm going to pick Reading Diagnostic. I'm going to assign one to him. And it pops up this new window. I only want to assign one to a specific student. If I wanted my whole class rushed, everybody didn't do what they were supposed to do, I could do the whole class, but typically you're only going to do this for specific students, and you do want administrator approval before doing this. Click on your student, find your student in the list. There he is. Check off his name, go to the next screen. It's confirming I want to assign Michael another assessment, assign, and he now has another test saved for him in his, when he logs in, that is what he will see now. So if I go back to my diagnostic and I look at my status, this one, it now shows that Michael went from completed to not started. So if I were to search for his name, it has taken away his data and that's no longer available to me because that new assessment that I assigned overwrote the one that he had already completed and turned in. We do have district level protocols that are available on Google Drive. I've also linked them to the district webpage. Just general practices, monitor your students, make sure they're progressing along, make sure they're not rushing. They do get breathing and brain breaks at the 25-minute, 50-minute, and the 25%, 50%, and 75% benchmarks. So they do get breaks throughout the test. We do also recommend that the test be broken into 2 testing sessions. So once they've hit their second breathing or brain break, they should stop for the day and resume the test on the following testing session. For younger students, the sessions are about 15-20 minutes long. For our older students, they can be anywhere from 45 minutes to 60 or 70 minutes long each session. Those protocols can be found again on Google Drive, or you can reach out to your administrator and they will provide them to you. Now I'm going to show you what the iReady assessment looks like from the student point of view. Once students have logged into their device, clicked on the Clever button, and then clicked on the iReady app, they will be delivered to the page that you see on the screen. They will be asked which assessment they are attempting to take, math or reading. Actually going to mute my computer for a second. So let's do reading. They will be directed to this screen. The reason I muted my computer is because the test does talk to the students, particularly at the younger grade levels. I'm currently looking at a 1st grade diagnostic, so there will be a lot of audio coming from the test. So every time I go on top of a button, the computer is actually talking to the students, saying, reading diagnostic, resume the assessment, reading, math. So every time I move, it does talk. We're going to click into the assessment, the reading diagnostic. It asks you where they're working because some students may be taking this at home if they're on any quarantine protocols. And all of these speaker buttons do speak to the student. So if they don't know what the words say, they can click the button and it will read it to them. Once we get into the assessment, it does go through a rather lengthy tutorial of how to use the assessment and how to click on the speaker buttons, how to submit your answers, how to click those done buttons. So I am going to pause my recording while it goes through this demo, and then I'll walk you through that so you see it at a bit faster pace. Once students have completed the demo tutorial of how to work through the different aspects of the diagnostic, they will begin answering questions. There are several different question formats, and there are quite a few audio components, particularly for our lower level students. It is important for all students to have a pair of earbuds or headphones so that they are not distracting the other students in the classroom, but they are able to hear what the assessment is asking them. So you'll notice on this particular question, there are several audio speaker buttons. The one at the top is the question itself. The one here next to this picture card is describing or using the vocabulary for this item in the square. And then the answer buttons are also audio, meaning that the answers are not text or visuals. They are things that the students need to listen to. So I'm going to turn my audio back on so you can hear what these sound like.
Listen to the sounds in the word top. T, ah, p. Which sound do you hear in the middle of top?
Okay, that's the question. If I need to hear the word again, it breaks it apart in the sounds. So I don't even have to click these buttons. I can just hover on top of them and it will read it to me or say it for me. The answer buttons you do need to click, and students can click one and then click done. You'll see the done button appear once an answer is selected. So let's listen to the sounds. So as you can see in this example, it's important for the students to listen to all of the choices because the answer is the last one. But they could just click one and then go done and move on to the next question.
Let's break words into two parts. Say mice.
Okay.
Say the two parts of mice. Find the beginning part of mice.
You'll notice that the answer choices were not clickable until the question was completely read. Students can't just jump to click an answer and then click done, click an answer, click done. They can't do that in this assessment, and they can change their answer. So if I click here,
Ice. Mice.
Okay, I can choose all of them. If I change my mind, I can click something else, and then I can move on to the next question.
Listen to the word boat. Take away.
Not all of the questions are audio. Some of them are pictures, some of them are text. Once you get into math, there'll be different representations on the screen. For the older students, there are reading comprehension portions of the test where there's text for them to read and then answer corresponding questions. For those types of questions, the text or sentences will not be available to be read to them. Obviously, we're monitoring reading comprehension, so we want them to read it, but the questions and answer choices could potentially be available. As students make progress and advance through the leveling system in iReady, the audio portions will start to get less and less and not be available to them as their ability to read and decode and understand progresses. So we're just going to pick an answer and move on. If a student is listening to the question, clicking a button, clicking done, listening to the question, pick an answer and move on, it will start to flag them on your teacher dashboard. So that would be when you want to stop the student, have them take a break, talk to them about taking this seriously or trying their best. And it may get to the point where you need to reset them or just let them keep moving through quickly, have a chat with them. Maybe mom and dad need to get involved, and then speak to your administrator about assigning them a new diagnostic to complete. Students can check their progress down here on this black bar so they can see how far they've gone. I'm currently at 19%. I know at 25%, I'm going to get one of those brain breaks that we talked about. And then again at 50, after the second brain break, they should stop for the day and resume the rest of the test on the next testing session. So I'm going to click a question or an answer and move on. Students can exit out of the testing question by clicking this X in the corner. It brings them back to this yellow screen, and they can resume their assessment here, or if you're done for the day, you can X out. If you X out from this screen, it does require you to go back to Clever, click on the iReady app, and resume the assessment. So I'm going to resume. I'm going to read the question again. Pick an answer and move on. Trying to move forward so we can get to one of those brain breaks just so you can see what they look like. It's reading the question. And now I need to pick an answer. Should be the last one, I believe. Oh, one more. I'm at 26%. I believe it finishes similar questions, and then we'll give the brain break. So let's pick one. Here we go. This is what the brain break looks like. So the characters in the video are talking. It's going to walk the students through a breathing exercise to try and get them to relax and kind of recenter and get their brain doing something else. So they click play, they follow the directions, and they play the game. Once they've completed the game, it will bring them back to the assessment to resume working on their activities. So they can X out, they go to resume, and it takes them right back to it. So if they don't like this game, unfortunately, there are no other options. They still have to play it just like everybody else. So they play, they go through, and then they resume their test. If you have any questions at all about iReady, whether it's from the teacher side, the student side, or any questions about analyzing the data or what to do while the students are taking the exam, please do not hesitate to reach out. You can reach me via email or by submitting a ticket through the help desk. Thank you.